Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for my final video of 2024. This is a bit of an annual tradition that I do on this channel. I upload a video where I ramble a bit, I talk about the year in review, talk about things that I've done on the channel, things that I'm proud of, things that I maybe thought I could have done a little bit better, and, talk about the two things, of course, that are central to this channel, which is Fire Emblem and Advanced Wars. And then I'm going to be talking, about other things. I'm going to give you guys an update on my life, talk a little bit about what I've been up to in the year of 2024, and then, of course, I'm going to be finishing it off with my future plans for this channel in 2025. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming Fire Emblem game, which I am sure is right around the corner. Lots of exciting stuff. I'm going to be posting timestamps both in the video description and on the screen in front of you. If you want to jump to any segment, you can. You don't need to sit through the whole thing. And yeah, just whatever you're interested in. My mom is calling. Hello?
Hello?
Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, timestamps. Click them if there's any subject that you're interested in. Let's start by talking a little bit about my channel in 2024. Here's a little analytic chart of how my channel has performed from start to finish in the year of 2024. As you can see, I took two sort of semi-breaks at the start of the year, so you can see the views have dipped down a little bit, but there's a huge spike in the middle of it. I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened there. And then you can see that it's been like a little bit of a quiet period, and then my channel has been slowly rising, which is very cool to see. Every YouTuber has good and bad times, but if there's one thing I am incredibly grateful about on this channel, it is that I seem to have a very consistent and loyal viewer base who always tune in to see what it is that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for remaining so consistent and loyal. And I know that I've gotten a lot of new subs over these past few months, so if you're a new sub, it's very nice to see you here. I hope you stick around. So up next, we're going to be talking a little bit about Fire Emblem in the year of 2024. What did I do on this channel, and what was some of my favorite things that I did? I started off this year with a lot of Radiant Dawn Iron Man streams. In fact, it got so bad that people started calling it Smelliest because I just kept failing and I kept restarting. And I made it all the way to the tower, and then I just lost in the most stupid way possible. I literally forgot to heal Ike and he got killed by the Black Knight. I was so mad. So to this day, I've actually yet to complete a Radiant Dawn Iron Man run. I really do think that Radiant Dawn is one of the hardest games in the series to Iron Man because there's just so many game over conditions. And I still want to come back and finish this run at some point, but people really started getting tired of Smellius, so I kind of had to take a long break from it. Then, of course, I did the Emblem Saga Iron Man randomizer, which was a lot of fun. Me and some of the devs, we got together and we were able to make this self-randomizer for Emblem Saga, which I think gave a lot of people a lot of enjoyment. It was not perfect though. We had to use this old beta version of Emblem Saga because of ROM space limitations, but I still really enjoyed the randomized streams. I did stop doing it at some point because I wanted to focus on Rebellion Saga. So at some point I definitely want to remake the randomizer and make a better version that has less bugs. Yeah, I really enjoyed the series. I think a lot of people did because I think it is one of my most popular series of 2024, so that was a lot of fun. I also did Season 2 of the Fire Emblem Gladiator Arena. This time around, it was a 2v2 edition. And I gotta be honest, guys, it was a lot of fun, but it was also very hard to balance. And we also had a lot of technical difficulties along the way. With 2v2 battles, there was just so many ways to cheese. And I remember there were some teams that just made chat rage so much. Anyone remember Witches and Stitches? Oh my goodness. So while I enjoyed Season 2, it really gave me a headache sometimes, and it was very difficult for me to stream sometimes. So I probably still want to do Season 3 at some point, but I definitely don't think we're going to do 3v3 battles. I think we're going to go back to a 1v1 format. This year, I also did a lot of Fire Emblem draft racing. We did Undead Saga, I think, in 2023. But this year we did FE6, FE8, FE7, Shadow Dragon, and Revelation. Draft races are weird because they're very frustrating to do, but I still like planning them out. They're almost more fun to plan out than to actually play, and I always feel miserable afterwards, but I still want to do it again. It's a weird thing. Draft racing Fire Emblem really gives you a different perspective of each game. I feel like when you draft race a game, you see that game in a different light. There is another draft race coming up, by the way. The next game that we're going to be doing is Radiant Dawn. It's going to be with me, PH, and Donlot. We're just going to do like a 3-player draft race, and that's going to happen pretty close after the new year, so you guys can look forward to that. Then, of course, I did recently return to Iron Emblem with Donlot. That's kind of a Let's Play that was kind of thrown by the wayside, but people keep pestering us to bring it back, so I did actually bring it back. We released 2 episodes very recently. We do plan to finish the hack. We just gotta find some times where both of us can record. I've been a little busy during the holidays, but don't worry guys, Iron Emblem is getting completed. Then I did Eligor's Spear, a normal mode Iron Man, which is still one of the hardest things I've ever done. Eligor's Spear is this insanely difficult ROM hack that is extremely well made. I think from a technical gameplay perspective, it is probably one of the best ROM hacks out there. The creator, Saga, is insanely good at enemy placement and creating difficult, challenging maps without making it like overly BSy. Then I did something really interesting. I did Conquest with Birthright units. That one's pretty recent. Doing Conquest with Birthright units is weird because it really makes you appreciate just how finicky Conquest is and how much it is designed around the units that you have on your team. The Conquest units, I'd say, are probably a lot better than the Birthright units. At least they start out stronger. The Birthright units may have more growth potential, but they start out a lot weaker. Definitely a challenge I wish to tackle again, but it was a lot more frustrating than I thought it'd be. And then, of course, towards the end of the year, I decided to give Fire Emblem Engage another shot, and instead of using my Switch, I decided to use the Nintendo TV, and it is insane just how much more I enjoyed Engage with this patch. I'm looking forward to these Engage streams more than any other streams that I have done this year, I kid you not. Don't get me wrong, I still think Engage is cringe, I still think it is a very ugly looking Fire Emblem game, I still dislike a lot of the character designs, and I still think that it did some damage to the Fire Emblem industry as a whole, but gameplay wise, it is probably one of the most fun games to play, and I really gained a new appreciation for it by not playing it on the Switch, because it is insane just how bad the Switch is. It doesn't run optimally at all, it is slow, it lags, it doesn't run games in 60 FPS. It is actually embarrassing how bad the Switch is. I am certainly looking forward to the Switch 2, which I'll talk more about later in the video, but needless to say, I have definitely gained a new appreciation for Engage, and it is actually interesting to see how interested my channel now is in Engage as well. The Engage Iron Man runs are doing very well engagement-wise. A lot of people are tuning in, and it seems like a lot of people are just happy that I finally came around on the game and that I'm playing it again. I think a lot of people were very frustrated with how much I was bashing the game and how much I refused to play it. And yeah, that is definitely on me. I was very stubborn and I was very hung up in the things I didn't like about it, but I'm glad I gave it another shot. I am definitely enjoying it a lot more than I ever thought I would. And then, of course, we finished off the year with the annual Christmas charity stream, and this is probably my favorite thing that I do on the channel during the whole year. Played Radiant Dawn this time around, a modified Radiant Dawn ROM made by Potterino, where we all protected Santa, and of course, in annual tradition, people got to give us items by donating to us, and we raised $8,000 at the end, which is just incredible. And props to my wife, she is really the one that insists that I do it every year. Not to say that I wouldn't do it without her, but she's definitely a driving force when it comes to these charity streams. Like, whenever November comes around, she's always talking about like, oh, what are we gonna do for the charity stream? So she's definitely a driving force for these charity streams, and I'm very grateful to her for that. I wanna finish off this segment by giving out some shoutouts to 4 Fire Emblem YouTubers that I hope to see grow a lot in 2025. These 4 YouTubers are Davis G, Donlot, Fire Embros, and Speedwing here. These 4 are very good friends of mine. Their channels have grown a lot in 2024. I think out of all of them, Davis G is probably the one that has grown the most. He came onto the scene this year and he started doing Iron Man streams, and he is insanely talented at editing, and as a result he's garnered a very big audience for his channel. I mean, he streams for like 200 to 300 people sometimes. It is actually very impressive considering how small his channel is. His retention rate is very high. Likewise, Donlot, Fire Embros, Speedwing here, all really wonderful people, and I really hope that 2025 are gonna see them grow. Maybe with the release of a new Fire Emblem game, we're gonna see see some of them maybe gain some new subscribers. I'm definitely going to be doing my part to help them grow. They're great friends and great content creators, and I wish them all the bests in the year to come. Alright, so up next, let's talk a little bit about Advanced Wars in the year of 2024. Despite everything that has happened with this franchise, it is very nice for me to see that there is still a lot of interest in the competitive scene. The replay analysis series that I do are still incredibly popular even to this day, one of my best performing content on this channel. And that shows no signs of stopping, which actually makes me really, really happy. For some reason, there's a single video that I made this year that just blew up, and it is one of the games where I feature Rip, one of the best Advanced Wars players in the world currently. I don't really know what happened, but the video just completely blew up, and it brought in a ton of new viewers to Advanced Wars. It is really remarkable for me to see just how many people there are out there who goes, wow, I love this game as a kid. I can't believe there's a competitive scene. I'm going to watch the competitive scene now. And then they like start playing. And that definitely happened with the Rip video. So very glad to see that Advanced Wars videos can still go viral in 2024. Obviously, the reboot camp still sucks. I haven't touched it at all since I played it after launch. I still have zero desire to go back to it. I think it is probably one of the most embarrassing remakes I have ever seen. We still don't know the sales numbers for the reboot camp, by the way. They never released it. I feel like WayForward just completely shoved it under the rug. I think they want to forget that they ever made it. If I were to make an estimate on its sales, I think it's probably around 100,000. I don't think anyone's ever going to bring it up again, and it's very sad. I feel like this remake had so much potential. I made an entire video explaining every single gripe that I had with the reboot camp. You can go watch it. It's a very popular video. But despite the failure of the reboot camp, Advanced Wars is actually still going very strong in 2024, and I expect that it will continue to remain strong in 2025. Obviously, in addition to my replay analysis content, I also did 2 seasons of the Grandmaster live tournament with Deegis. We did both Season 4 at the start of the year, and then we did Season 5 at the end of the year. Season 5 was very exciting because it was the very first time we did a fog tournament, which is something that we've never done on this scale before, and it was very, very cool. And I actually have some very exciting news to share with you guys. I'm going to spoil this now, and I think a lot of people will be excited by this. Deegis and I have decided that when we get around to doing Season 6, which is going to happen probably sometime around spring 2025, we are going to be doing a Days of Ruin tournament on the site Tiny Wars. This is going to be controversial for sure, and the player pool for this game is a lot smaller than Advanced Wars by Web for sure, but we are confident that it's going to be an incredibly cool tournament. The first time we ever do a Days of Ruin tournament, at least live, so I'm very excited. I'm playing a lot of games on Tiny Wars right now to kind of get into the metagame of Days of Ruin. I'm also talking with some of the best Days of Ruin players in the world to try and update myself on the metagame to make sure that we can cast the games properly, but that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. There are also 2 players I'd like to shout out. The first one is probably not going to be a surprise to people. It is Deegis. Deegis continues to be an incredibly good friend of mine, a fellow Advanced Wars content creator. Another YouTuber that I'd like to shout out is Alagatua. He doesn't upload as frequently as Deegis, and he makes like these very like long form commentaries. But Alagatua actually won Season 5 of the Grandmaster tournament, which is something that we did not expect. And he's actually a really cool guy, so I do hope to see his channel grow in 2025. Now I'm briefly just going to be talking about some other games that I've played on the channel in 2024. The year started off with a big bang with Unicorn Overlord. That was an unexpected hit. When I first saw the trailer for it, I did not expect to like it as much as I ended up doing. And some of the videos also really blew up. There was a huge interest for this game. I think a lot of Fire Emblem players were very curious about it. Even though it didn't play like Fire Emblem at all, its story was very similar to Fire Emblem, and it was an absolutely gorgeous game, both in terms of its cutscenes, its lighting effects, and also its characters. It had so many beautiful characters in it. And even though I don't think that Unicorn Overlord is really gonna come back again, I think it was a bit of a flash in the pan in that it came and that it went, and also Vanillaware isn't really known for making sequels, so I wouldn't really expect a Unicorn Overlord 2. I'm still very grateful that it did come out, and I streamed the whole thing on my channel from start to finish because I was so impressed with it. A very enjoyable game. an unexpected treat of 2024 for sure, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for future games released by Vanillaware. If they have any trailers in 2025, you can absolutely be sure that I will check it out on the channel. I also did an Oblivion stream, which was a lot of fun. I didn't actually play that much Oblivion as a teenager. I was more of a Skyrim guy, so it was fun to try Oblivion again. I think PH was the one who kept badgering me to do it, and it was actually a lot of fun. I also played Touhou for the first time. That has been a game that's been requested for years. Touhou when. I finally did a Touhou stream. I was kind of bad at it, but I still think people enjoyed it. I also played some XCOM 2. I did promise Noringa that I would do XCOM 1 on the channel at some point. That's actually a game I'm much better at, so I'm looking forward to doing that maybe in 2025. And I also played Stalker 2. I did a stream of that, and that was actually a lot of fun. I have a brand new computer that can run it really well. And while I absolutely suck at FPS games, it was still a pretty enjoyable stream. Up next, I'm going to be talking about the new Fire Emblem game that I am confident is right around the corner. And the reason why I say that is, statistically, we are overdue for a trailer. Here is a list of every single mainline Fire Emblem game in the franchise and when it got released. I put these dates into ChatGPT and I asked it approximately how often does a new Fire Emblem game come out, and it answered that every 2 years and 2 months we get a new Fire Emblem game. And then I asked it, roughly how long do we usually get a trailer before a game comes out? And it said on average it's about 4 months. Now if we look at Fire Emblem Engage, it came out about 1 year and 11 months ago. What does that mean? Well, it means that statistically we are 3 months away from a new Fire Emblem game, give or take. Now, as many of you probably know, there's a very high possibility that January is going to be the month where they announce the Switch 2. And as we all know, with the release of a new console comes a bunch of new games. So the big question is, what will this game be? Well, for a long time, everyone thought it was going to be a remake of Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War. This is because the person who accurately leaked Engage with screenshots also said that they were working on a remake for Fire Emblem 4. However, they provided no footage. This was just a statement that they made in the leaks. Now, for a long time, everyone thought, well, since this person had inside access to the point where they got screenshots from Engage, if they say that they're working on a Fire Emblem 4 remake, that's obviously true. And for the longest time, I was really on this bandwagon. I was like, well, yeah, we're getting the Fire Emblem 4 remake. It is happening. However, then the YouTuber Speedwing here made a video where he talked about something that I had never even considered. And basically what he said was, is it possible that the person who leaked Engage accidentally saw Sigurd's Paralog, saw the map, and just assumed that they were working on a Fire Emblem 4 remake? This was before they knew that Engage had this ring gimmick where we would go around and fight in various Paralogs. And once I saw that video from Speedwing here, I was like, yeah, that actually seems like a very, very valid theory. The person who looked at Engage maybe saw Emblem Sigurd in game, or maybe Sigurd's Paralog, and they just assumed that a Fire Emblem 4 remake was being worked on. I think that is a lot more likely than a Fire Emblem 4 remake being worked on. Because personally, I just don't see them wasting a brand new console release, which is a great time to release a new game, on a remake. Remakes, historically, just have not done as well as mainline series, and I just don't think the Fire Emblem 4 remake is coming. I've seen a lot of videos pop up on YouTube. I think I saw 2 or 3 talking about, yeah, the FE4 remake is definitely coming, and I might eat my words on this. Maybe it actually is coming. Maybe it is being made. But personally, I think it's probably not as likely as people think. I think that what we will get is either something completely unexpected, like maybe a sequel or a prequel to Three Houses or something like that, or we're simply just gonna get a brand new Fire Emblem game. Brand new world, brand new characters, brand new story, just brand new everything. Of course, it's gonna be exciting, but I really have no idea. I really have no clue. There's also a chance that it is going to be a remake, but it's something completely different than what we might be expecting. Maybe it's a remake of Fire Emblem 6. Maybe it's a remake of Thracia 776. I mean, no one expected them to remake Gaiden in the first place. So who's to say that they won't just surprise us again and do a remake of a game that no one expected them to do? Whatever it's gonna be, I will be super happy if it is a remake of Fire Emblem 4, because I would be on the moon for that. But I just don't think it is likely at the moment. But of course, no one really knows what they have in store. There are no leaks, no screenshots, no nothing. There are just speculations, rumors, and hearsay. They're keeping their cards close to their chests. So whatever the trailer is, we're going to find out soon. Up next, I want to talk a little bit about my upcoming project, Rebellion Saga, which is releasing on the 28th of February, 2025. We just released a demo to the public with the 2 first chapters. You can try it out right now if you haven't yet. We were very excited to release it to the public, and I am even more excited to show you guys the finished game. Personally, I feel like we've really poured our souls into this prequel. Prequels are difficult to do by their very nature because they're a lot more restrictive. You gotta keep everything in mind. You gotta make sure you don't rewrite canon. You gotta keep all the characters in mind that you gotta do. But I think that you guys are really going to enjoy it. It's a very replayable hack. Personally, I think that the gameplay is far better than Emblem Saga because we have so much more experience right now. And I'm just super excited for you guys to try it out. You can expect another release trailer when the game is closer to launch. And if you haven't yet, make sure you join the Undawn Saga Discord. That's where you'll find more information about it. We post teasers there all the time, so you definitely should join if you haven't already. But yeah, super excited about Rebellion Saga. I'm definitely going to be streaming it on the channel when it comes out. I'm going to be doing an Iron Man, draft race, everything. And maybe even a CMU. We'll see. So definitely look forward to that. So this next segment is dedicated to me, the person, my IRL updates. Now, in case you don't know, most of you probably do know, I got married this March to the love of my life, my sweet wife, Bethany, one of the best people that I have ever had the pleasure of getting to know. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary in March, and being a married man is certainly very different to what I'm used to. Usually I'm kind of used to being by myself, and living with another person is, it has its challenges, of course, but for the most part it is very nice, and I really cannot recommend married life enough. I know that generally speaking on the internet today, there's a big movement against marriage. A lot of young men are saying they have no interest in getting married and that it's not something that you should pursue. I understand that marriage is a daunting thing for many men. There is no secret that family court is not nice to men and that there's a lot of broken men out there who has lost a lot in divorces, and it is a tumultuous time to be a young man for sure. But what I can say is, if you're able to find the right one, I do think that marriage is something that you should aspire to. You should obviously just be careful choosing who to put the ring on. I think the mistake that a lot of young men do these days is that they get married maybe too quickly. They don't give it enough consideration. There's this funny quote I read that, men will spend 6 months deciding on what car to get, and they'll, investigate it, they'll inspect it, they make sure that it's the perfect car for them. But when it comes to women, sometimes they'll just go on a date with them and they'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna marry you. And that is a very male thing to do, I think. But from the perspective of a married man, I will say life is better, especially when you have a good spouse, someone who takes care of you, someone who compliments you, someone who supports you in your work. Personally, my life has gotten a lot richer ever since I got married, and it allows me to focus a lot more on my work and pursue my interests and my projects without having to worry about all the other things. And of course, she's a great life partner, she's empathetic, she's kind. Obviously, I've just been married little under a year, so I'm still very much in the honeymoon phase, and I do realize that there's going to be challenges, there's going to be hard times for sure, but I am confident that I made the right choice in marrying my wife. Definitely don't be afraid of it, just be careful with who you select. You need to select someone who shares your values. Me and my wife were both Christian, we both have similar outlooks on life, and I really do think that's the recipe to a long and happy marriage. One of the things that we are looking forward to doing in 2025 is buying a house. We are both saving up money for it. I am basically working 2 jobs, trying to save up as much money as I can. We hope to be able to buy a house sometime in 2025. It's very rough in this market. Housing prices are just going up every single year. It is a goal that sometimes seems so far out of reach, but I am confident that if we keep working hard at it, we will eventually be able to get a house. And once we get a house, we very much plan on having children, and I am very much looking forward to becoming a dad. It's definitely going to be challenging, and I'm probably not going to be able to do YouTube as much when that happens, but I do hope to be able to balance that part of my life with becoming a father and being a husband. So yeah, in short summary, I'm doing great. Probably better than I ever have. I'm very grateful for all the things that I have in my life. I am very blessed. I thank God every day for all the things that I've been given, and sometimes I really do wonder what I have done to be this lucky and to be this blessed. But I continue to have a very positive outlook on life, and I am very excited for the future. Alright, so this is the part of the video where I'm going to be talking about my future plans for the channel in 2025. First thing I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to finish Engage. I don't care what happens, I will finish this Iron Man run, I will defeat Sombron, I will beat this game, even if I have to do 50 seasons of it. I am racer focused on this run right now, and I will not let it die. I hope to be able to beat it on my current run, but even if I lose, I will start over again, and I will play this game until I beat it. That is a promise. After that, I actually intend to start a brand new CMU, and this time around, we're doing Radiant Dawn. Yes, I know, smelliest, people are a little bit tired of it, but I believe that a CMU, aka Create My Units run, is perfect for Radiant Dawn due to how many playable characters there are. There's going to be so many opportunities for everyone to get their characters in. Hacking utilities for Radiant Dawn has improved dramatically in the year of 2024. We have brand new programs, we have so many more ways to hack it compared to previously. This is in part due to a single individual called Vicious Sal, who is like one of the most prominent Radiant Dawn hackers. He has done so much for the hacking scene, and thanks to him, we now have the ability to easily modify Radiant Dawn ROMs, create our own characters, insert portraits, modify skills. We can do so many cool things, and I am super excited for the upcoming Radiant Dawn CMU. I think it's going to be really cool, one of the best we've done so far. Obviously, I have an amazing guy named Paterino in my corner, the one who made the Christmas charity ROM. He is very knowledgeable in Radiant Dawn hacking. He's learned a lot from Vicious Sal, and with Paterino on my team, I am confident that we'll be able to create one of the best CMUs yet. I am super excited for it. And then, of course, I'm going to be playing Rebellion Saga when that comes out at the end of February. As I said, I plan to stream it, I plan to do draft races of it, I plan to do videos about it. That's obviously going to be a big part of the channel when that comes out. And then, of course, we have the brand new Fire Emblem game that I am confident will come out in 2025. Whatever it is, you guys can expect it to be a big focus on the channel. Even if the game doesn't have a great first impression on me, similar to Engage, I am going to try to not be as quick to dismiss it this time around. Because I came around on Engage, and I think I was a little too harsh on Engage to begin with. So whatever this game is, even if it looks weird and cringy and maybe it's not the game that I wanted, I am going to try and feature it a lot more on the channel, and I'm gonna play it a lot before I make up my mind about it. That is a promise that I make to you guys right here, and one that I intend to keep. Then, of course, you can expect Advanced Wars to be a staple of this channel well into 2025. I'm going to continue to do my regular replay analysis casts, and of course, the live Grandmaster Season 6 tournament, which will be Days of Ruin, is going to come out sometime during the spring or early summer. That's something I am very much looking forward to. I hope to actually make Days of Ruin a bit more of a focal point on the channel moving forward. I'm going to cast some Days of Ruin matches, I'm going to play some Days of Ruin matches. I think it is a bit of an unexplored aspect of Advanced Wars that requires more recognition, because the Days of Ruin metagame is actually a lot of fun, and I hope to learn more about it in the next year. Another thing that I have planned for 2025 is Underrun Saga, the Definitive Edition. This is something that I hope to release on the 2nd year anniversary of Underrun Saga. Basically, one of the reasons why we were not able to make updates to Underrun Saga was because we ran out of space, and we had no one on our team capable of rebuilding the ROM. That basically means that you use programs to create a brand new ROM with more space. Then we got in touch with a person named Vividero, who was very knowledgeable when it came to hacking, and he was able to rebuild the ROM, and now it has like 6 or 7 megabytes, which is more than you will ever need. As a result, we really want to release a definitive edition of Underrun Saga with some improvements that we've learned over the years hacking Rebellion Saga. One of the things that we plan to do is we plan to add a bunch more supports to the game. We want to add 2 or 3 new characters. We also want to add new CGs. And we also want to rework a couple of the chapters. I think chapter 21 is one of the chapters we'd like to rework completely. And we also want to do just some minor gameplay adjustments, like reduce the reinforcement spam of certain chapters, but make the units that are already there a little stronger and yield a bit more experience, so that the gameplay becomes less spammy and more kind of quality over quantity like. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting started on the definitive edition. I think it's going to be very fun when it comes out, and that's definitely something I'm going to Iron Man 2 and probably Draft Race as well. And then of course there is one game that is kind of in my sights. I think it's going to come out in October if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that, and that is Warside. It is an Advanced Wars clone. I liked the demo, even though I do think that it has some problems. But I'm going to be cautiously looking out for the development of Warside, and if it turns out to be a good game, I'm definitely going to be playing it on the channel. Time will tell if it's going to be good or not. Another thing that I hope will come out in 2025 is the brand new Advanced Wars by website called Wars World. Contrary to popular belief, I am not on the development team. I just help them sometimes by giving them shoutouts. Wars World is basically just a modernized version of Advanced Wars by Web, where with a much better UI, much better features, everything just looks better. And they're also going to do something that I'm very happy about. They're going to include COs from every single game. So in case you don't know, on Advanced Wars by Web, it's kind of like a combination of Advanced Wars 2 and Dual Strike. It uses rules from both games. However, each of the COs only have one iteration. For example, if you play as Jess, you play as Advanced Wars 2 Jess and not Dual Strike Jess. You can't pick Dual Strike Jess. However, Wars World will allow you to play as any CO from any game. So for example, if you'd like to play Advanced Wars 1 Max versus Dual Strike Combi, you can. And that's something that I am super excited for. If it's done well, we could potentially see a mass exodus of players from Advanced Wars by Web over to Wars World, and that could very well become the next place to play Advanced Wars. Maybe a little bit sad for those who love Advanced Wars by Web. I definitely have a soft spot for the site, so very excited for Wars World. I think it's going to be fun. Hey everyone, post-production Mengs here. I was too lazy to get back in front of my green screen as I was editing this video. I just wanted to add one thing that I forgot to talk about in this video. Another thing that I'm very excited for in the new year is a brand new stream concept. In the background, someone has been developing a particular kind of software that allows inputs from chat to dictate what is happening in-game. This software is almost close to finished, and once I have it, I am going to do an absolutely crazy interactive Fire Emblem stream where you guys will have the ability to influence what is happening in the game. I'm not going to say much more about it now, but I think this might be one of my best stream concepts ever, and I'm so excited to show this to you guys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have to say in this video. Probably more I could have talked about, but I think it's been long enough already. Just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's watched my content this year, to everyone who's recently subscribed, and to those of you who have been subscribed for like 10 plus years. You know who you are. I really do believe I have some of the most loyal viewers on YouTube. I am so blessed that you guys are sticking with me year in, year out. I never really have a fear that my channel is going to become irrelevant. I think you guys are here to stay. And as long as you are interested in watching me, I will be interested in making content for you guys. I love doing this. It is one of my favorite things in the whole world. I am so blessed to have this channel and to be able to do this day in and day out as a semi-job. I realize that I'm in an extremely privileged position, and I am very grateful every day for that. By the time this video goes live, I will probably be out watching the fireworks show, but once I get home, I'll definitely be reading the comments. So I would like to ask you, if you watch this video all the way through, leave a comment. What is your favorite memory from this channel in 2024? What did you personally like the most? And I'm going to be trying to read and heart as many comments as I can. Anyway, guys, it has been an absolute pleasure to be able to entertain you guys in 2024. I am really looking forward to the year 2025 and what it might bring. Happy New Year! My name has been Mengs. I'll see you again in 2025.